Good morning. We do not have an official math lesson today because lesson 31 that we did on Wednesday was the last lesson of Module 4. But we are going to be doing a math review math practice before we take the practice test next week and the actual test on Tuesday. So you are going to solve the following problems. Choose the strategy that works best for you. Now, I'm going to tell you that you are not going to find this page anywhere in any of your stuff because I just made it up just the other day so we could have this for a review for today. And when I say that you can use any of the strategies that we have used up to this point, you could use the CHIP model if you want to solve these problems. You could do new groups below to solve these problems, or you could also do not new groups below, but totals below. Those are the strategies that we've been focusing on. So what you're going to need to do, I'm going to show you the problems. You're going to need to write them down and solve them on a piece of paper that you have. So the first problem is 98 plus 53 is equal to something. Problem number 2 is 187 take away 69 is equal. And if you need to pause the video so that you can write these down, that would be fine. Coming over to the next page, problem number 3 is 87 plus 58. Number 4 is 57 plus 63 plus 45 plus 55. And number 5 is 60 take away 47. And if you need to pause the video so that you can write those down, that would be great. Number 6 is 174 plus 49. Number 7 is 208 take away 69. Number 8, you are looking at two expressions on either side of an equal sign. 80 minus 6 is equal to 7 tens and 5 ones. You have to tell whether or not this statement or this equation is true, and then, or false. You'll circle either true if it's true or false if it's false. And you need to show your work and explain why you're picking what you're picking. So if you just circle the answer and don't explain why, well, you just get that one wrong. The next problem is identical to that, same format. 90 take away 3 is equal to 80 tens and 7 ones. Is this equation true or false? You need to explain why and show what the value of each of those expressions is. What is the value of 90 take away 3? What is the value of 80 tens? Oh dear, I goofed that up. Oh my gosh, that is a big boo-boo. That should be 8 tens, not 80 tens. My bad. Just fix that. Whoops, I did not notice that until just now. That would be 8 tens, not 80 tens, because that would be like 800, and we're not doing that. But 90 take away 3 is equal to 8 tens plus 7 ones. And you're deciding whether that is true or false. All right, and then you have two word problems. This is a two-step problem that you're going to need to solve. This is the one that you need to send to your teacher. This is your exit ticket. Send to your teacher. This is a review over the things that we did in today's lesson. So this is your exit ticket, and this is the one that you need to send to your teacher so that she knows that you have completed this assignment. So there is not a video for you to watch today unless you want to go back and review any of the videos that we have done up to this point, but there is not a video for you to watch today. I'm going to tell you to go ahead and pause the video, and then I am going to come back and I will walk you through all of the problems except for the exit ticket problem, which is a two-step problem for number 10, and you're sending that one to your teacher. So this is what we're doing for our math review. I will tell you that on Monday we will be doing a practice test, and on Tuesday we will be taking the end of the module test for module 4. All right, go ahead and pause the video and I'll see you in a few minutes. Are you back? Alrighty, if you are back, let's get started. So I am going to actually show you how to solve most of these problems two ways. And if you want to do it one of the ways that I don't show it, you are welcome to do that. So I'm going to start with 98 plus 53. And I'm going to show it the way that I like the best. I really like the new groups below method because it just takes a lot less time and I don't have to write as many things. So I always start in my ones. 8 ones plus 3 ones is 11 ones. Because I have 11 ones, if I was thinking about that in terms of the chip model, I would know that I had to compose a 10. So I'm going to compose a 10 and put it into my tens column, which leaves me with 1, 1 in the ones column. But you can still see, oh, wait a minute, did I do that right? Oh, yes, I did. Yep, sorry, had to think about it for a second. So 8 ones plus 3 ones is 11 ones. I have it represented in this problem as 1 10 and 1 1. So the next step that I'm going to is over into my tens column, and I'm going to start by adding 9 tens and 5 tens equals 14 tens, with one more 10 making 15 tens. If I have 15 tens, what I actually have had to do is to compose 100, because 15 tens, which is 150, says that there is 1 100 and 5 tens and 0 ones. So I know that I have 5 tens still left in the tens place, and I have 1 100 that I had to compose with adding to 0 hundreds for those numbers, which gives me 151. And yes, if you don't show that you had to compose both a 10 and 100, then you have made a mistake. You need to make sure that you're showing that you can compose both a 10 and 100. Okay, now I'm going to come over and show this exact same problem doing totals below. So we're going to start again with 98 plus 53, same problem, and when I'm finished I should come up with exactly the same answer. I think Ms. Mulder was showing you how to do this problem where you're drawing extended lines across. Because I'm going to be adding ones and tens, that's all the lines that I'm going to draw. I'm going to start in my ones, and I'm going to do 8 plus 3. Because I have 8 ones plus 3 ones, I'm going to solve that. Then I'm going to also solve for 9 tens plus 5 tens. The value of 9 tens would be 90, and the value of 5 tens would be 50. So I am breaking it apart into expanded form, but I'm also showing where it needs to line up with when you're adding things together. 8 ones and 3 ones are 11 ones, making sure that everything lines up according to place value. 9 tens plus 5 tens is 14 tens. 14 tens in standard form would be 140. So I am going to put my 140 in my equation. And now that I have added the ones and got an 11 and added the tens and got 140, now I'm going to add those two totals together. 1 plus 0 is 1. 4 tens plus 1 10 is 5 tens, and 1 100 plus 0 100s gives me 51. And both answers or both sums should be the same, whether I am doing new groups below or I'm doing totals below. All right, let's move on to the next problem. So this time I have 187, and I am going to show it two different ways. 187 take away 69, and I am going to show this using my decomposing a 10 method, which I think works wonderfully well. So when I'm decomposing a 10, I'm asking myself the question, can I take 9 ones away from 7 ones? And after taking a close look at my whole that I'm going to be taking this number away from, I can see that if I was doing the chip model, that I would not have enough ones to be able to take 9 ones away because I only have 7, which means I'm going to need to come to the tens and decompose a 10, just like I would do it if I was in the chip model. That would leave me with 7 tens. That decomposed 10 is coming over into the ones, so that's 10 ones plus 7 ones gives me 17 ones, and I no longer have 17 ones. Once I have decomposed my 10 and shown the result of decomposition of that 10, then I think I have enough ones that I can now subtract from 17. So 17 ones take away 9 ones gives me 8 ones, and 7 tens take away 6 tens gives me 1 10, and 1 100 take away 0 100s gives me 1 100 for a difference of 118. I really love that method. It's very quick, but you do have to think about the chip model in your head. You're just not actually drawing it. But if you want to draw the chip model, I don't have a problem with that in the least. Okay, then I am going to do the same problem, 187 take away 69, and I am going to show it with the chip model. Here I go. So I have my hundreds, I have my tens, I have my ones, and the only number that I am going to represent is 187 because it is my whole, and I'm going to be taking this part away from it. So 1 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. That really should be 185. 186, 187. So 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 181, 182, 183, 184, 185, 186, 187. So then I'm asking myself, can I take 9 ones away from 17 ones? I cannot. I know I'm going to have to decompose a 10, which here I'm going to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I've decomposed 10, leaving me now, instead of 8 tens, I now have 7 tens. Do you see how very similar these two are? That they're exactly the same problem. The only difference is I do this in my head instead of on paper. So now instead of having 7 tens, I now have 10 ones plus 7 ones gives me 17 ones. The process is exactly the same. The only difference is I do this part in my head. If you need to have the chip model, you are certainly welcome to. 17 ones take away 9 ones is 8 ones. 7 tens take away 6 tens is 1 10. And 1 100 take away 0 hundreds gives me 1 100. And both of my differences are the same. All right. Remember, we're allowing you to choose the method that works best for you. So now we're over to 187, or not 187, but 87 plus 58. So 87 plus 58, of course, I am going to do it my favorite way, which is new groups below. And then I will show this problem over here with totals below because those are the two we have worked on the least. So the first question I'm going to ask myself is 7 ones plus 8 ones is 15 ones. I know that I just composed a 10, so I have 1 10 and 5 ones, or 15 ones, represented by 1 10 and 5 ones. Now I'm coming over to my tens. 8 tens plus 5 tens is 13 tens, plus 1 more 10 gives me 14 tens. When I have 14 tens, I know that I've composed a 100, which I'd have to show, and I have 4 tens left in the place value. It's still 14 tens. I can see it right here, 14 tens, but it is represented by 1 100 and 4 tens. Then I'm looking at my hundreds. There's no hundreds in either of these two numbers, so it is 100 plus 0 gives me 100, making my sum 145. Now I'm going to come over and I'm going to do the same problem with totals below. When I do totals below, I like to draw those extended lines. And because I only have 10s and 1s, I'm only going to show 10s and 1s. So here's my 1s. Here's my 10s. I don't have any hundreds right now, so I'm not going to put those in. And I'm going to start with 7 ones plus 8 ones. 7 plus 8 is 15 ones. And then I'm going to show 80, because 8 10s is 80 plus 5 10s, which is 50. So 8 10s plus 5 10s is 130, because it's 13 10s. 13 10s has the same value as 130. And now I'm going to combine my 1s and my 10s with 5, 4, and 1. So 4 10s, 5 1s, and 1 100. 145. And again, those sums need to be the same. Okay, now we're coming back. This time we are going to be adding 1, 2, 3, 4 add-ins, and this has been a little while since we did this, but I'm going to show you 2 different ways that you could do this, and depending on which way works best for you, I'm going to start with 57 plus 63 plus 45 plus 55. Okay, I know Miss Mulder likes to do it this way, where she's adding her 10s and her 10s and her 10s and her 10s. So 5 10s and 6 10s is 11 10s. In standard form, that would be 110. And 4 10s and 5 10s would be 9 10s, and in standard form, that would be 90. So I've added all of my 10s. Here they are. I want to make sure I don't add them again. And now I'm going to add my 1s. So 3 1s and 7 1s. 3 1s and 7 1s are 10 1s, which I'm going to have to add in just a minute. And 5 1s plus 5 1s is also 10 1s. Now I need to combine all of my 10s and my 1s together, so I'm just going to put a little plus sign down in between those, and I'm going to think, well, let's see. 90 plus 10 gives me another 100. And 110 plus 10 gives me 120. And then I need to combine my hundreds with my 120. I have 100 plus 120, which gives me 220. 220 would be my sum. That's one possible way you could do it. Or you could also go 57 plus 63 plus 45 plus 55. Now what I like to do, this is my favorite way. This is the way Miss Mulder likes to do it. This is the way Miss Starr likes to do it. I'm looking at my 10s. I am going to take 5 10s, which is 50, plus 6 10s, which is 60, plus 4 10s, which is 40, plus 5 10s, which is 50. So I add all of my hundreds together like this without bringing all those lines down. So I know if I combine 60 and 40, I'm going to get 100. And if I combine 50 and 50, I am going to get 100. So when I add 100 plus 100, I'm going to add 100 plus 100 gives me 200. All right, so all of my 10s, all in total up to 200. Now I still need to add my 1s. So I'm just going to put a little circle around them so I don't forget what I'm adding. 7 plus 3 plus 5 1s, 7 1s plus 3 1s plus 5 1s plus another 5 1s. If I combine 7 and 3, I get 10. If I combine 5 and 5, I get 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. And if I add 200, which was the sum for my 10s, to the sum for my 1s, I am going to get the same answer as I just got a minute ago, which is 220. So whether you solve this problem using the Miss Mulder way or you solve this problem using the Miss Starr way, as long as you can prove to us how you got there, it's okay with us. But we do have to see the steps that you use to be able to take that. All right, let's take a look then at problem number 5. Problem number 5 is 60, I don't have very much space to work, 60, take away 47, here we go. I am going to solve this the decompose a 10 way because I like that way. I'm asking myself the question, can I take 7 ones away from 10 ones? And that would be no, so I know I'm going to have to decompose a 10. I come over to my 10s and I'm going to decompose 1 10, which leaves me with 5. I am recording, and I'm going to take that decomposed 10 and I'm going to add it to my ones. 1 10 plus 0 10s is 10 10s. There we go. And now that I have decomposed my 10, I can continue on with my subtraction. 10 ones take away 7 ones is 3 ones, and 5 10s take away 4 10s is 1 10, giving us a difference of 13. I'm also going to show this exact same problem using the chip model. So 60 take away 47, here we go, 60 take away 47. Here's my chip model. Here's my 10s, here's my 1s. I'm going to represent 60, here we go, and 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 0 ones. I have to ask myself the question, can I take 7 ones away from 0 ones? And I know that I cannot, so I'm going to have to decompose a 10. Here it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So instead of having 0 10s, I now have 10 10s. And I've decomposed, 10 ones, my bad. I've decomposed a 10, which means now I have 5 10s. 5 10s, and I'm going to take away 1, 2, 3, 4, leaves me with 1 10, and 10 ones take away 7 ones. I did that kind of backwards. I got to take 7 away. I should not have done those 10s first. Shame on me. Let's take away those 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That leaves me with 3 ones. Then I should have done the 10s. Sorry, my bad. I got a little bit ahead of myself. But both differences are showing 13. And whether you do it the decompose a 10 method or using the chip model, as long as you can show and justify your work, we'll be happy. Okay, so now we're moving on to problem number 6. We have 174 plus 49. 174 plus 49 is going to be the first method that I will show you. And I am going to be asking myself, 4 ones plus 9 ones is 13 ones. That gives me 3 ones and a composed 10 for 13 ones, which I am representing as 1 10 and 3 ones. Then I'm coming over into my 10s. 7 10s plus 4 10s is 11 10s, plus 1 more 10 gives me 12 10s, which I am going to represent as 2 10s and a composed 100. Because 12 10s is the same as 1 100 and 2 10s. Then I'm coming to my hundreds, and I'm going to add 1 100 plus 0 hundreds plus 1 100 gives me 2 hundreds. And my sum is 223. Now let's come over and show this in the totals below. 174 plus 49. Here I go, and this time I want to show this with my ones, my 10s, and I also have hundreds this time. Ones, ones, 10s, and hundreds. All right, so I'm going to look at my ones. 4 ones plus 9 ones. 4 ones plus 9 ones is 13 ones. 70 plus 40, because I have 7 10s, which has a value of 70, and 4 10s, which has a value of 40. 70 plus 40 is going to be 110. And then 100 plus 0, I'm just going to put 100 down here because I'm not adding it to anything. and I'm going to put in the 100 added to nothing, still gives me 100. Then as I add my ones, I get 3. As I add my tens, I get 2. And as I add my hundreds, I get 2. Notice that my sums are exactly the same, whether whichever method that I choose to do it. And if you like the chip model and that works best for you, we certainly don't have a problem with you using the chip model. It's just that we've practiced that one so much that I am not going to use that one at this time. All right, so now we have 208, take away 69. I'm going to use the decompose a 10 method for this one, and then I will show it with the chip model as well. And my first question, as I look carefully at my whole, is can I take 9 ones away from 8 ones? Well, the answer to that question is nope, I don't have enough. And if I had drawn that in the chip model, I would be able to see that I don't quite have enough. So I would normally come to the tens to be able to decompose a 10, but I can't do that either because there isn't any. So I have to come all the way over to 100 and decompose a 100 this time. That decomposing 100 leaves me with 1 100. That changes this from 0 tens to 10 tens. Now I still cannot take 9 ones away from 8 ones, and I'm going to have to also decompose a 10. So I'm going to decompose a 10, which leaves me with 9 tens. That decomposed 10 is now over in my ones. 10 ones plus 8 ones is 18 ones. Now I am ready to subtract. 18 ones take away 9 ones is 9 ones. 9 tens take away 4 tens is 3 tens. And 1 100 take away 0 100s gives me 1 100 for a difference of 139. And when you're doing this, you need to make sure that you are showing all of your decomposing, because in this number we had to decompose a 10, we also had to decompose 100. All right, let's show this same problem. 208, subtracting 69, and we are going to use the chip model if you want to. And if you choose to use that model because it works easier for you, I don't have a problem with that. So we know that we are always representing the whole. So there's 100, 200, no tens, 201, 202, 203, 204, 205, 206, 207, 208. Now I already know that I can't take 9 ones away from 8 ones, but there's nothing in the tens, so that means I have to come all the way over to my hundreds, decompose a 10. Let's do that. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So now I have, instead of having 2 hundreds, I only have 1. And now instead of having 0 hundreds, I now have 10. Instead of having 0 tens, I now have 10 tens, and I need to show that in my vertical form. Now, the next thing that I would like to do is see if I can subtract yet. Nope, I still can't take 9 ones from 8 ones because I don't have enough. But I can decompose a 10 and bring that over into my ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now I have 9 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because I've decomposed a 10. And now I have not 8 ones, but 18 ones, because 10 ones plus 8 ones is 18 ones. Notice that both problems are showing exactly the same steps. The only difference is actually showing the chip model. 18 ones take away 9 ones is 9 ones. 9 tens take away 6 tens is 3 tens. And 1 100 take away 0 100s gives me 1 100 for a difference of 139. Depending on which method you choose to use, make sure that you show all of the steps so that we can see that you understand where you're supposed to be going. All right, so now we're coming over, and I am so mad that I did that. Oh well, that's what happens when you're in a hurry sometimes. So I am going to decide whether 80 take away 6 is equal to 7 tens and 5 ones. Okay, I'm getting myself in a position where I can do that problem. Here I go. I'm getting myself ready to show that. And so 8 tens take away 6 tens would be 74. Okay, and I'm looking to see whether or not it's equal to 7 tens, which would be 70, and 5 ones, which would be 75. So 74, is it equal to 75? Well, it is not equal, and we can show that by using the not equal sign, meaning that this one is false. And I have to explain why, because 80 take away 6 equals 74, and 7 tens, which is 70, plus 5 tens, which is 5 ones, gives me 75, and 74 and 75 are not equal. As long as I can see that you understand why this is not equal, then I would be giving you a smiley face. Let's come down and try this one now. We have 90 take away 3, which is 87, and remember this is going to be 8 tens, so 80 plus 7 ones gives me 87, and they do have the same value. 87 is equal to 87. That makes this equation true, and I could say both expressions are 87, which makes that true. All right, so now we're coming over to the word problem, and I will read it over with you, but then you will need to work the problem yourself and send it to your teacher. 38 fewer girls attended summer camp than boys. 79 girls attended camp. So you're going to have to change these word form into standard form. So 38 would be changed and 79 would be changed. And then you're going to need to set up your problem to find out how many boys attended the camp. So 38 fewer, oh, I shouldn't be doing this part for you, 38 fewer girls attended summer camp than boys, and there were 79 girls at camp. So your first step is to find out how many boys attended camp, and your second step will be to find out how many children attended camp. Now, if you don't get this problem right, you will not be able to get this problem correct. So make sure you're very careful when you're solving problem number 10, because if you mess this one up, there's no way you'll get this one correct. This is the first step and the second step, very similar to what we did in class yesterday. And with that, my friends, I am going to say thank you for sharing the time with me today. Make sure you send your exit ticket to your teacher, and you have a great day of learning.